Hi everyone, I'm George Jackson, executive producer and host of GovExec TV, and today's 5 questions are with Farhan Abdullah. He is Senior Director of Information Technology at the New York City School Construction Authority. Farhan, welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me today.
So, give me a sense of what happens at New York City School Construction Authority. Like, what's your day-to-day look like, and how does it involve information technology?
So we are a public benefit corporation responsible for the design, construction, and renovation of New York City public schools. The construction industry has traditionally been a bit behind of other sectors, and the industry is quite challenging. Take us, for example, we're now responsible for a 5-year capital plan for $20 billion.
Wow.
And design and construction of new schools, as well as maintaining those 1,600 and so facilities in a state of good repair. So the challenges we face is enormous. So imagine coordinating with numerous stakeholders across the entire project life cycle. So you got strict deadlines, you got vast amount of data that you got to make sense out of it. You got safety issues in construction sites, as well as making sure that the schools that you're building meet the building code compliance as well as regulatory requirements. If you are someone who is working in this industry, especially in New York City, you would know how these challenges directly impact the timeline and the outcomes. These challenges are tough that we have to deal with. Just imagine not filing for a permit on time could actually delay the school openings or a building opening. So good news is that the industry, across the industry, there is a sense of recognition in terms of the industry needs to move forward and take on that digital transformation journey. We're seeing a lot of shift in terms of using technologies like BIM that actually creates that 3D representation of a building that it could be used throughout the construction project. You have IoT devices and sensors in construction sites, and more data-driven decision making that's happening. And I think with the advancement of AI that we are seeing, it creates a huge opportunity for us in terms of how we tackle this long-standing industry challenges. And we're really looking forward to leverage this technology to transform how we deliver construction projects.
Farhan, we're here in New York City. We're at Pier 57. You're going to be on stage in a few moments at this GenAI Live and Labs event hosted by Google. Part of that has to do with your partnership with them. Talk about your journey to adoption of artificial intelligence and how that represents the future for, those $20 billion, those 1,600 facilities, that highly nuanced space that you work in relative to buildings in New York.
That's a great question. So I tell you, we started something pretty simple, actually. Getting our teams comfortable with AI. So what we have done is an agency-wide AI literacy program. And our team started identifying those real business challenges and where AI could help. And I think one of those challenges that we took on that came from the business is how do you identify objects from a very dense and complex data set? So as we are evaluating platforms for our specific vision-related needs, computer vision needs, the Google Vertex AI vision stood out for us. So as during our prototype, we realized very quickly how powerful this tool is in terms of not just having a user-friendly interface, just the entire artificial intelligence, machine learning workflow in terms of your data preparation, your training, your evaluation of the model, as well as deploying the model into production. And most importantly for us is the robust capability it has in terms of quickly identifying those objects from these complex data sets.
You mentioned user-friendly interface. I'd imagine, experience is part of the benefits once this is ushered in throughout the organization. Speed is something that you talked about, but what are like the mission objectives for doing this? Like, what are you going to see as an organization at the end of the day if it's done right, if it works in your favor?
So I'll tell you, because we are doing this idea of doing this object detection came from the business directly again, and we're doing this for our accessibility compliance team. So they're responsible for basically making sure the schools that we are building is accessible to all students, regardless of their physical abilities. So we are developing this tool to make sure that it reads those complex architectural drawings and extract those accessibility features. For example, is accessible toilet? Is there a water fountain there? Is there a platform lifts, or is the elevators accessible, right? Is there assisted listening system is available in the school? So it's kind of making sure, and this review and inventory process is currently being done by registered architects. So we want to make sure this mundane work kind of use artificial intelligence to automate that process and have those experts do more value-added work for our organization.
As you've done that review, that inventory, I'm sure you've unearthed a fair amount. What are some of the challenges that you came across, things that you had to address at the outset in order to start making that difference?
So I tell you, when initially we started the project, and I think this is still an issue, to helping our user understand the probabilistic nature of AI. So when we reported that this model can, tell you that it detected accessible toilet with 90% accuracy, the response we got from the user is, "What do you mean by 90% accuracy?" It's like, it should tell me there are 30 toilets in this building, and out of 30 is 3 of them are accessible toilets. So we kind of took a step back and realized we need to reframe that conversation. Instead of focusing on model performance or abstract percentage, we develop a review screen for our users where they get to see the findings of the artificial intelligence tool, which consolidate information from different documents and give them a presentation layer where they could review the findings and use their expertise to make sure, hey, needs some improvement, and they send it for their downstream process. So we learned very early that AI's capability, mix that with human expertise, which is a strategy that's really working for us as we take on more artificial intelligence projects in our agency.
Farhan, put on your futurist hat for me as we come to a close. Like, what's next for the New York City School Construction Authority? What's next for your journey to AI adoption, or even your partnership with Google Cloud?
In terms of this year, our priority is deepening that AI literacy program across the agency. And the reason we want to do this is as AI tools become more and more accessible, we want to get ahead of the shadow use of AI by our users. So we are expanding our training program. We are giving access to our users, secure access to our AI tools. Our goal basically is to empower our users to use AI effectively and responsibly. In terms of what we are thinking, just to give you an example, as we hand over school to Department of Education, we produce vast amount of data. So we're talking about PDF documents, walkthrough videos, how to operate a boiler, right? How to operate the HVAC system in the schools, right? So all these documents, once we hand it over to our Department of Education, we don't have access to them, or it's locked in some place. So I think we see a huge opportunity there to use generative AI to generate insights such as what's the warranty of the roof in that school? What's the operating guidelines for the boiler, right? So what is the contact information when something breaks, right? So we want to enable our users to get that insight from those documents, and we see that generative AI could play a huge role in terms of making our access to information much more effectively than we do today.
Well, I've been talking empowering users with Farhan Abdullah, Senior Director of IT, New York City School Construction Authority. Farhan, thanks so much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, audience. That was today's 5 questions for GovExec TV. I'm George Jackson. Have a great day.